Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Live on Neevesknives Live. How do you guys like the background music? It's just for Breeze, since he wants some background music. Let me turn it down. While you guys are waiting, I'm gonna stop it. How you guys doing? Hopefully all is well with everybody. So we have a few topics to talk about tonight. Excuse me, I do have a cough, so forgive me. I accidentally, well, not by accident, I meant to, but in the title of the video, I said this was a USA made knife. It is not. I took the title off and changed it. When I was searching this after receiving it from the company, I was searching and I couldn't find anything but USA made stuff. And then I went on Blade HQ and looked up their knives, and the button lock version of this, which looks identical, it's just a button lock version, said it was USA made. So I was like, oh, cool, it's USA made. And I knew they were in Chicago, so I figured it was USA made. So my mistake, these ones are made overseas, so I corrected that. But they do have a lot of models that are made in the factory in Chicago. So if you guys are wanting one of their models or one of their knives, you can have the USA made versions. They do have full blown customs too. But those are going to be quite a bit more expensive. But yeah, and like I said, there is a button lock version that is USA made. I'm not sure if it's an auto or if it's just a button lock. I should have looked more into that. But awesome knife though, the Hellraiser. This is the Red Horse Hellraiser. I just did a first impressions on it. It is very well done. Great knife. I'm actually interested in their customs, man. I bet they're pretty dope. So, tonight's story. I don't know if we're going to start a little early with the story, but we might, but it is knife related. And we have some knives for the story tonight. So for those of you that don't get into story time because, a lot of times it's not knife related, you might want to stick around tonight because it is absolutely knife related. Another thing I did for those of you that are going to Blade Show, I know this doesn't really, matter, but I picked up this badass tripod because Everyday Minimalist, he just went to the Blade Show in Texas, and I asked him, I said, what tripod are you using? How are you doing it? Like, I was curious because I wasn't sure, like, you walk around with the camera on your neck, how are you doing it? And he recommended this. And basically these arms, they just fold right together, like really quick too. Like you can just like slap them together and carry it around like a selfie stick. And then you can just swing it and the arms will pop out and you can set it down. So that's really cool. I also got the little neck so I can move around the camera, but this way I'll be able to carry around the camera safely. I'm not sure if I will film all 3 days or anything. I'll probably take 1 day with a lot of filming, but bring on story time. Story time will be right around 9 o'clock. We might start it early. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens. So this new Hinder, man, favorite version yet. I am absolutely loving this Hinder. This is the skinny version, the XM18 3.5 inch skinny version with the fat carbon fiber scales. I do have the micarta scales, thanks to Mr. Amazing. I do have some Gillian bearings already that I am going to swap out. Why? Just because. But I did round off my flipper tab. So maybe I can get you guys to see it. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. I had some problems.
You can just set it right here. This is going to be for the drinks. So
I'm going to take a couple sips real quick.
Go ahead. I rounded off the flipper tab just a little because this one's got a stout detent. It is so much better. So much better. Because, the Hinder, excuse me, the Hinder flipper tabs are very pokey.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mess around with the sharpness.
They look like shark fins.
And some of them, especially when they're brand new, which this one was brand new, when they're brand new, they have stout detents, so when you're pushing down to flip it, I don't know why this isn't something they would have just addressed. Like, The detent's strong enough. It doesn't need to have that type of flipper tab. There's so many different ways this flipper tab could be to be better. Now, I understand like that you don't want to change the model, right? Like the model's a tried, tested model, so we know it works, blah, blah, blah. But you don't have to change anything but the flipper tab, and you don't even have to change it much. You know, just contour it a little bit, knock off that corner. Now I know they have a new hinder that's out. It was on Metal Complex's channel. Shout out to Metal Complex. That the flipper tab, they addressed it on that model, but I don't know why. Like every, you know, like starting the new year, all the new models, you'd think they would just address it. I don't think anybody that has a hinder says, "Man, I love their flipper tabs." Like, man, I wish all flipper tabs were like this. Nobody says that. Everybody says it's kind of like Chris Reeves' thumb studs, right? Nobody likes them damn thumb studs. Nobody.
Oh, those thumb studs suck.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons that I didn't like the Sebenza when I first tried it.
You didn't like the finish, so that's your big deal.
But even on the ones where the finish wasn't as bad, that thumb stud just kind of pissed me off.
So good.
I know. That's why I can't give it to you. I'm having a hard time putting it down.
Thank you for the 2 bones, Talica. You're full of shit.
Oh.
Talica.
Why?
Because he's saying he loves the flipper tab on the hinder. He's just bullshit.
You know, it is shaped like a shark fin, but
I fixed that one, by the way.
Which one? Do you have one that's not fixed?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've never actually.
There's your little one right there.
This one?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it is when you're talking about a detent as strong as this. Yes, it is.
Is this detent stronger on the bigger one or something?
This detent's strong too. When you do this 100 times, especially on a big one, it gets fucking annoying.
Do you know what though? I don't do it normal. I feel like maybe because I'm left-handed using a right hand knife, my hand's a little wonky with my right hand.
Grab the big one.
Because I will, but because when I flip these things, I don't come straight from the back like this and pull down on that point. I hit it from the side like this.
Right. Well,
I don't really feel that.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people, what they do is they go like this. They push on the back side of it. No, I'm saying they don't go like this. They go from the backside like this, and then they go down. That's just something they started doing because you don't really like to fidget with it because it pokes the crap out of you. If you flip it, I'm not saying you should be doing this, but if you did flip your hinder 50 times in a row, your finger's going to be sore. Like it's guaranteed you're going to have a spot on your finger that has a poke mark.
I think the thumb
Grab
studs are a little.
The big XM24 with the
This?
No, Timascus. Yep. Now close that one and flip that one. But flip it with the you can feel it.
I'm going like this.
I understand what you're doing. I'm saying do it normal. Do it normal though.
That is normal for me.
No, it's not.
I can't hold it like this. That's so weird to me.
But you feel the point. And this one's got a better
this one
detent.
has a light detent.
Lighter
so it
detent.
doesn't really bother me on this one.
Now, but what I'm saying though, some of these come with a stiff detent, like a really stiff detent. And this one has a stiff detent, which I love the detent. Remember, I love it.
Very pretty. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a little shark fin, but because this one's bigger, I think it's more comfortable.
But yeah,
it's not tiny.
This one's detent's well tuned though. It's just it's not stiff. It's perfect. But some of them have
likes it.
really stiff detents. You're full of shit, Talica.
No, I think he does because I can understand that.
Doesn't matter. He's lying.
Thank
you for the 5 bones. I can't stand using the ZT models that have the. Well, no, I'm not saying make them slick because I know what you're talking about. I don't like that one either. There's a way to do it good, all right? You don't have to like compromise for another bad version that's slippery. I don't like that one either. That one's slippery. This one's pokey. There's a spot right there in the middle, right? Knock off. What I'm saying is just like I did this one.
Okay, I feel it a lot more
knock
in my
off the
left
point.
hand.
Knock off the point. Leave the jimping. And you know, you don't have to have the jimping so sharp and a different type of jimping, maybe. But this one, it's just knocked off. It's perfect now. So it would be even better, like if you guys know the half track's flipper tab is 100% different, but it has like a pad right here. Like say if I took like something flat, like a file, and I filed a flat spot right there, that's the way the half track is. That gives you a point where you have a leverage point that's comfortable. to do a push button or a light switch?
So I put it in my left hand, and when I do it left-handed, which is my real hand, it I
Your
feel
right
it.
hand's not your real
No,
hand?
it's fake.
Huh.
I feel it more because I'm probably like you do it left-handed. I bet because of the way you would hold it left-handed, you might not feel it. Because I feel it much worse left-handed, but right-handed, I don't think it's a bad flipper tab at all.
Shout out to Mr. Designs.
Try it.
Go and follow. I already know, baby.
Try it left-handed. I just want to see. I want to see if does it bother you as much left-handed.
It's the same.
Is it? I hold it differently with both hands. A little different because non-dominant hands usually don't hold things right.
Shout
I'm gonna go. All right, love you.
Shout out to Mr. Designs. Go and follow him on Instagram. He's got some badass designs coming with the OEM React made knives. So keep up with what he's doing. I have a review coming of one of his designs, and he's got a patent pending, or he's trying to get a patent for his button lock design, which is an incredible strong button lock, guys. I'm super impressed with how rock solid its lockup is. I have not taken it apart yet. That's soon to be. Mike Emler, hit him with it. Don't let him tell you how to flip that knife. What's up, Mike? Shout out to Mike Emler. Go and follow his content. He does have a YouTube channel and an Instagram. Send him some dick pics. Honestly, hate Timascus. Guess I'm the odd man out. See, I'm indifferent about it. I like it, but I don't want it on everything, right? Kind of like anything, right? I love titanium. I'm a titanium whore. I'm a micarta whore, but I don't want it on everything, right? I like a little bit of, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, there's times where, especially when it's done right, and the one I really like a lot is the what is it? Mokatai, the one with the gray and blue. That shit looks fire. When it's got the dark gray patches, and then you'll have like a little bit of orange popping out with some blue. So because just like Damascus, Timascus, they're not all the same, right? There's different mixtures, there's different qualities, there's different anodizing. This one, I'm going to eventually strip it, and I'm going to re-ano it, because I can tell it's just like any ano finish, right? After you've handled it a bunch, you start bringing down colors a little bit. And this would be, I bet you I wouldn't even have to clean it off. I bet you I could just run a torch around it, and I bet you I could bring this like back super bright. I mean, it's still beautiful, but you want to do that with Timascus every once in a while. Now, the more polished it is, the longer it will last. Just like anodizing. But yeah, I like it on some things, but like I said, I don't want it on everything, but I do think it is pretty cool. You missed my 5 bones? Did I? Oh shit. Cue ball with the 5 bones. Kara says I need to play Elden Ring, so I guess that's my next PS5 game. Thank you, Kara. That was from Chris. He said that you said he needs to play Elden Ring. Oh. Cue ball. I see the other. Thank you, brother. I do appreciate the other 2 bones to let me know I missed a donation, man. Thank you. And shout out to the Bang Gang members. Also to the Bang Gang squad. I want some of you guys, any of you guys that are part of the Bang Gang squad, if you guys are missing certain sharpening equipment, stuff like that, send me some messages and let me know what you guys are lacking, things like that. I want to try to make sure, the Bang Gang members have some sort of sharpening supplies at the very least. Maybe we can get some giveaway stuff going. If you guys have any ideas on what would be good giveaway stuff for the Bang Gang members, I will try to get some of the stuff that if you guys think like, whatever you guys think that would be good for donations. I mean, I obviously know what are some good stuff, but what I mean, I guess, is things that people are lacking, right? Like, I know what I recommend, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you might already have that, right? So let me know some of the stuff, because I know like I have lots of extra diamond plates, things like that I could that are used, but they're still good. I could give some of those away if somebody's missing a diamond plate, things like that. Stropping compounds. I got tons of stropping compounds. We got a lot of stuff we can start giving to the Bang Gang squad to improve their sharpening supplies collection. All right. What was the next thing I was going to talk about? There was something else. I forget now. All right. So, what edges last the longest? I want to talk about that just a little bit. MC chats are worse than middle school. So, I want to talk about edges and what edges. I get asked this a lot. So, what edges last the longest? Meaning grit, angle, when you sharpen an edge, what edges are the most longest lasting? Now, there are variables, right? So I want to first talk about coarse versus a fine edge, right? So a coarse edge will stay coarse forever, right? So it's always going to have bite. So even when it starts wearing, it's going to still have bite. So it's going to continue to hang on to bite the longest, right? The longest bite on your edge is going to be from a coarse edge. Now, downfall is that because of the teeth on the edge, they can tend to wear a little faster because there's teeth there. Now, yes, of course, there's stropping and things like that to maintain it, but a coarse edge will start losing its retention because remember, it depends on how we're talking about it. Because if we're talking about will it cut paper cleanly, right? If we're talking about how long will it cut until it'll stop cutting paper, right? The coarse edge is going to start hanging up sooner than a fine edge. However, it will continue to cut through stuff where you need a coarse edge longer than, say, a fine edge. So a fine edge, while it will continue to cut through cleanly through paper longer, it's going to lose the bite. Of course, you can strop it and bring bite back. That's one of the things you do with a strop. You bring the bite back, right? But it's going to lose the bite. And that will make it to where, yes, it might still cut through paper cleanly, but it's possibly getting slick. And if you were cutting cardboard or cutting certain types of materials, it could start getting slippery and slipping out of cuts, or possibly not cutting into the material as aggressively as maybe a coarse to medium grit edge. So edge retention wise, which edge lasts the longest? Well, if we're talking about holding an edge that can cut through paper, well, then it's going to be a fine edge. Now, what is a fine edge, right? A fine edge would be considered between like 800 grit and 1500 grit. Ultra fine would be above 1500 grit, because once you get past 2000 grit, you're in like extra fine. You're in mirror edge terrain. So that type of edge, a mirror edge, with some steels, you will get all the benefits of the fine edge and will do very good. In other steels, it will be a negative impact, meaning it might be really sharp right off the bat. You'll start using it. It will instantly get slick. And now you have no bite from your edge, right? It just looks pretty and it's basically slick. You could just rub your fingers down it. So some steels, though, will hang on to that bite and it will be just as good as the fine edge, if not better, right? Now, and this is another reason why I always scream about a 600 grit edge. A 600 grit edge is like in that balance, right? Where it's fine enough to where it will cleanly cut through paper for a long time, but also aggressive enough to where when your edge retention is going down, it's still aggressive enough to cut through the things that require saw-like teeth on your edge, bite. Now, of course, angle has a lot to do with it. Now, if we're talking about um, a polished or a fine edge with a high angle, that is going to get slicker far, far quicker than if it was laid back. If it was laid, when you change your angles, your edge retention goes up, meaning, you get longer edge retention. So the downfall is the lower you put your angle, the more fragile it is. So while you might increase cutting performance, sharpness, and your edge retention, it's becoming a lot fragile. If you bump something, if there's a staple, or if you accidentally nick something or whatever, you can, depending on the angle, you can chip the edge, you can roll the edge, you can do, stuff like that. So there's, obviously with every positive, there's always the other side, right? There's a balance. And that's why I think 17 degrees is a great happy medium balance on most knives. Not all, but most. A 17-degree angle gives you that nice balance where you're going to get maximum cutting performance, edge retention, sliciness, sharpness without sacrificing too much toughness. Now 15 degrees is really, really good too. But on some knives, you're starting to teeter there. You're starting to get to that point to where, this is going to start getting fragile, especially depending on the steel, the heat treat, the knife, the grind, all that good stuff. Shout out to Urban Woodsman 87. Go and check his content out. Now, with a coarse edge, laying back the angle, I find on most if it's heat treated properly and it's a quality steel, if you lay back that angle really good, you can make even a coarse edge fine enough that, I mean, it's super slicey, and it's not, how can I put this? It's almost like it's super coarse, so it's super aggressive, but it's fine enough because you lay back the angle, and the angle is acute enough that you get a lot of the benefits out that you get from a fine edge. And not saying there's like a ton of benefits from like a polished edge aside from it being a fine edge and it being because let's be honest, the things we cut with our knives aren't necessarily the things that show those high level edges, right? Like the high level hair whittling edges, right? Nobody's out there fucking whittling hair with their EDC knife. So, but somebody left in my comment section of, I don't remember what video, but one of the videos where I sharpened a knife and I was testing the edges and I whittled hair, I cut through a paper towel and did a bunch of shit with my edge. And they said, why would I ever need a knife that sharp? That's what they said. Now let's take away knife and let's just say, why would I ever need an edge that sharp? I was watching this video. I wish I had it. I'd pull it up. So there was like this fruit tree, and it's this guy, and he's got this staff with a blade at the end of it. It's probably about 7 feet long, right? And at the end, it's got somewhat of a curved blade. Now, this fruit tree, I don't know what type of fruit tree it is, but it's some sort of fruit tree. Well, he's got it, and what he's doing is there's another guy with a bag, and he's cutting the fruits off, right? Cutting the fruits off. But remember, he's doing this all day. He wants that edge as sharp as possible. And you can see that fucker sharp because he's easily getting it. Like there's no struggle, no nothing. He's easily getting it. Now, as soon as he hacks those fruits, he goes for the tree and he's going to cut the whole tree down. Like I said, I don't know what type of fruit tree this is, but it's big. It's like probably 12 foot tall, maybe 15 foot tall. And the stalk, or the trunk is like probably this big around. right? It's not like a redwood tree, like that dense stuff, but whatever it is, it's obviously still hard material, but easy enough that he can cut through it. But if his blade wasn't sharp, it wouldn't have cut as clean as it was. Well, right after he got all the fruits, then he went for the tree and he goes like this. And you just see it go, like just cutting layers. And he gets it all the way down till it's like this tall. My point is that without that edge being so sharp that, and you could tell it was really sharp, right? He's doing that every day, all day. That's what he does, right? Now, I'm not saying that maybe you, right, if you're a guy that says, why would I ever need an edge that sharp? I'm not saying you are doing that type of work, but with anything you do with an edge, having it to the highest level of sharpness that you can get for whatever you're doing is always going to be more beneficial than having a shit edge. Most people don't even know the benefits of a really sharp edge because most people don't have really sharp edges. They run around tearing through things like say boxes, right? You get a box and you take your dull knife that has a shit edge on it and you drag it through the tape and the tape just tears. It doesn't even cut the shit. It just tears it. Could you do that? Yeah, you can do that with a key. You can do that with a pen. You probably don't even need the knife, right? But the tape gets all caught up and now it's all chunky on your edge. And when I do it, it's just like nothing. And to me, it's like, why would I ever want a dull edge to do that when a sharp edge is so beneficial to me? Even like a bag of chips, right? I get a bag of chips. I don't have to tear into a bag of chips, right? And risk blowing it up and dropping all my chips and everything. I can just go right across it. Super easy. If my edge wasn't sharp, I couldn't do that. It would just tear. King Snake Jake. Happy Saturday, everyone. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate the donation. Thank you for the 2 bones. The name for that pole arm with a curved blade on the end is called a bill hook. Well, thank you. Seems logical. Well, he was using a bill hook on whatever tree it was. I don't know the tree. You can picture a fruit tree though. And the fruits he was chopping down were like this big. So they weren't like little tiny fruits. They're big fruits. Hey, Mom. Hope you're doing well. Look at the guy that work at butchering those are razor blade sharp. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And chefs, they got to keep their edges nice and keen. And I know that was just one guy leaving a comment like that, and most people understand that, but I've gotten that comment quite a bit. Like, I wouldn't want my knife that sharp. What? Like that doesn't even make sense to me when I hear that or when I read that. I don't even want my knife that sharp. Like, why? Why wouldn't you? And I'm not saying like that you need it to where it's fragile, but you can whittle hair and do the things I was doing with just a really, really sharp knife. You don't have to lay it back to, 10 degrees per side and make it so fragile that it'll chip if you cut anything dense. Right. So I just thought it was, or I always think about it when I read that, like, you're thinking that because you roll around with a dull everything. Everything's dull. Your kitchen knives are dull, your pocket knives dull, and you get by, right? You get by. But if you fucking used a sharp knife, you wouldn't do that. Like, most people don't know what a sharp kitchen knife feels like. They really don't. They think they do because they think the factory edge was as sharp as it will ever be. Can you imagine thinking that the factory edge that you get is the sharpest your knife will ever be? I think that's the dullest my knife will ever be. So, but most people, that's their what they have to work with, right? That's the only thing they can compare it to. So, when they're cutting their apples and their fruit, that's super sharp to them. And once it starts going dull, it will never reach that level of sharpness again. They'll pull it through an electric sharpener, or who knows what the fuck they'll do, but they'll do whatever. Now, if they had the ability to have a knife, their knife, super sharp always, they would never, like they would change, their mindset would change. It would go to, I would never want my edge to be dull, right? Because it makes your work so much easier. You don't rip the meat when you're cutting it. You don't tear the bread. You don't, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Are you a fan of the tungsten carbide sander knives? I'm not a fan. I did try out the one, but it was cool. The one I tried them, and they're a little rough around the edges. I have nothing against them. I think they're badass. It's not like, I think they're kind of ugly. So, but aside from that, yeah, they're cool. I have nothing against them. Hey, Jared, stopping by and saying hi. Thank you, John. What's up, brother? How you doing? There goes Metal Complex. Wait, there goes Metal Complex's viewers. How many knives do you have? Not including kitchen stuff. Over 300. Dull knives are a no-go. Yes, exactly. Oh, our T-Rex is in the house. What's up, T-Rex? Can you whittle hair without having a... Oh, yeah, for sure. I've whittled hair with a 600 grit edge before. As long as... Excuse me, guys. The biggest deal with, if you're going to whittle hair, one, you do want a good angle. That's going to be probably one of the most important parts to whittling hair, because you need... Okay, so when you sharpen an edge, when you get it, the tip of the apex, right? The tip of your edge, the sharp part, the part that cuts you, that's a 0. Okay? That's a 0. When you're holding your angle, right? Say 17 degrees per side, the 0 is the apex. That's going to be 0. Even though it's always going to be a 0, the lower the angle that you sharpen your knife at, the keener that the tip of that's going to be. So let me show you really quick. Let's say that is your edge angle, right? Now, if you look, where that line is at the tip, that's a space. That how wide that is, determines on basically how sharp the tip of that edge is. Now, when you sharpen an edge like that, now all of a sudden that measurement right there is a lot thinner, right? Well, a hair, the fibers in a hair is a certain thickness too. So if you can sharpen your edge so that that 0, meaning the closest part to that 0, right? Sorry. The closest part to that 0 right there, the tip of the edge, when that is smaller than the fibers of the hair, it can whittle it. So the most important thing to being able to whittle the hair is going to be your burr removal, your angle and your burr removal. If you have a good angle, right? If you have a good angle and your edge is keen enough and you do a clean burr removal, you can whittle hair, even if it's 600 grit, 400 grit. You're going to have a little bit of a tougher time with the real coarse edges, just because the teeth can catch it and stuff. But I've whittled hair with coarser edges than most people think can whittle hair. Sharpest knife I have right at the moment, probably my K390, my CTS XHP, and my 14C28 on. Three different knives. Now, I could make other knives as sharp as that to an extent, but having a steel a specific steel that already takes a really good edge. Oh wait, and some Magna Cut I got my Magna Cut. This is also, so I put the ones I said and this one right here, because this is 64.5 HRC Magna Cut and it's so thin behind the edge. This is screaming sharp. But having the right steel with the right heat treat, then with the right edge, equals high levels of sharpness. Like you could have the same knife with the same steel with a softer heat treat or just not as good, and it's not going to take as keen of an edge. I seen a donation. Pierre, thank you for the 5 bone, or thank you for the 5 crackers. What is a 420 HC steel worth? Looking to buy a Kershaw Scallion for my female cousin, but I don't know this steel very well. Okay, so it's a little bit less than 440C. 420 is a high carbon steel. That's what HC stands for, high carbon. So it's really stainless. It's you're not going to get as much edge retention as the 440C, but it's a simple steel. Simple steel, but it's probably like if you were going to put it on like a scale, and I don't like it when I say these words and people take it as like a negative thing or a bad thing. So when I say simple, that doesn't mean bad. All right. Simple means it's simple to work with. It's easy to work with. You can easily sharpen it. You can easily maintain it. You can easily hone it. It's easy to grind. It's easy to repair. It's easy across the board. Now, the downside is it's not going to have a long lasting edge because it's so simple, so easy. It's going to be really good stainless. Now, the benefits to that is that no, you're not going to be able to have an edge that's going to last you weeks of sharpening. No, it's not. But you're going to be able to get a really keen edge on it really easily. And when you're cutting with it, if you maintain it, it will continue to its edge to come back on a strop over and over and over. Now, it's not really worth that much money. It is more of a affordable steel. So you don't want to pay a lot for it. And the reasons why is because it's readily available to all the companies and they can easily work with it. Like I said, simple. So their belts, they don't go through as many belts to make blades with it. It's easy for them to heat treat for lots of reasons why it's a very affordable steel. So you don't want to pay a lot for it. It's not a bad steel. It's just a very affordable steel. What are the downsides of an angle that is too shallow? Just toughness. The downsides is it's not going to be as sharp, right? Not going to be as sharp. It's not going to cut as good. Its edge retention will be less, so less edge retention. And it's the bite is not going to be as bitey, right? So but the upsides are it's tough, it's resilient, it's it's tough and resilient. That's basically it. It's tough, resilient. It takes more impact. It's more stable. Now, how can you balance the two, right? Where you can get slicey and tough. Well, then you'd want a convex edge or a V grind with a micro bevel. The micro bevel basically just adds a micro bevel to the very tip of the apex to make it a little more stout right at the tip without sacrificing cutting performance and sharpness. In many cases, you can't even tell a knife has a micro bevel. Now you can also convex it, which makes it to where instead of a V grind, it's rounded like that. And that will make it to where it'll be like kind of like an axe. Think about an axe. An axe is like a convex, and that makes it more tough and puts more steel, kind of like we were saying right here. It puts more steel behind that edge or the tip of the edge, behind the tip of the zero. The small Sabenza hollow grind is nicer than an Inkosi. Yeah, I've been looking for a small Sabenza, but hard to find what I want. Yeah, there's a lot of different versions. If you have your heart set on a specific one, yeah, it can be tough, I'm sure. Danny asks, is 20 CV the most badass steel there is for all-around knife? No. No. It can be a really good steel. Now, the question, this is what how the question should be. And I'm not trying to be a dick. The question, the way you should phrase it is great heat treated 20 CV the best all around steel? And in that case, yeah, this could be about the best. It's very stainless, long lasting edge retention, decent toughness. Like, it's not a tough steel, but compared to a tough steel. But for EDC knives, you don't really need toughness. Now, if you need toughness, then I'd say go with a different steel. But for cutting performance and all that, it's a really good steel. But the problem is it's not as easy for production companies to heat treat it because it wasn't made to be heat treated in large batches. So it makes it to where most companies are not heat treating 20 CV or M390 or 204P to its highest potential. So what you get from a production company is never going to be M390's highest potential. Not saying it's still not good. It's still really good, but you're going to find that you're going to be able to get those same performances out of a lot of other steels too. So that's why I say no, because you could, in some cases, if M390 winds up like depending, right? Like if it's at 58 HRC or something, it's probably got edge retention like, S35 VN or something, So it depends. There's lots of variables, but there's lots of steels that are just as good with edge retention and all that. And you can get all the same benefits and same qualities out of them. There's a lot of steels. So right now we see a lot of M390 because it is a great steel. It really is. It's just, the companies are not capable of doing it the justice that it can possibly be, right? It's not their fault. It's just there's no way for them to give it to you at the price you are willing to pay at the heat treat you want, right? Like if you ask the question like, why can't I get this, this heat treat and this and blah blah blah, and they're like, well, you can't. Are you going to pay $200 more or whatever, or $100 more? I don't know how much more it would be, but usually the answer is no. I have a Kershaw Lincoln 20 CV, and I suspect the heat treat could be better. Still a good knife for the price, right? You do want to put into consideration the price you're paying. And like those, I forget what those are, but aren't they under $100? Jared, what do you do? Wait, what do you do your beacon and subjugator angle at? I've got mine at 20 degrees, but I feel, I go at 17. I think I went a little bit lower with my subjugator. So I think I'm at like between 15 and 17. So I guess that'd be 16. That sounded stupid, but 17 degrees is a great angle. I just went a little tiny bit lower on my subjugator. If you want to see some awesome knives and beautiful custom cold wood scales, go check out Hawaii Knife and Gear. Thank you for linking that cue ball. Sandvik steels are as tough as 1095. Why does anybody bother with the latter? I always scream about it. To me, it's like they should be pumping out fixed blades in 14C. 14C is super tough, takes an incredible edge, long-lasting edge, easy to maintain, easy for the companies to get and heat treat. I am worried about one thing, though. 14C is so good, right? Once the companies know how much we like it, we're going to start seeing that price start going up because they're going to realize like, oh, well, these guys are willing to pay this much for that stuff. So we do need to kind of make sure that we don't allow companies to realize that we're willing to pay more for that because it actually performs better than they think. It's like when you look at some of like the not studies. I don't want to say studies because they're not actual studies from real results. Some of them might be from catcher tests and stuff like that, but a lot of them are just like, this is what it should be, right? This is how good 14C should perform. And they tell you this is where the edge retention, graph is, and they'll put like 14C next to S30V and they'll show S30V a little bit higher than 14C. But I think that a lot of those tests are considering that 14C like around like 56, 57, 58 HRC. And I think when they raise it up a little bit higher, I think its edge retention massively goes up. And I think that we just wind up seeing a little bit better performance out of 14C than they suspected. Not saying that there wasn't ever a catcher test, but I think if we seen more catcher tests, they'd holy cow, old Metal Complex is in here. Neves, congrats on the success. You deserve it, man. So pumped to see your channel explode. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shout out to Metal Complex. You guys should go check out his channel, his little tiny channel over there. No, I'm just joking. No, I love you, brother. Thank you for coming and saying what's up. And I do appreciate that, man. It's been a journey for sure. Just wanted to pop in and say hey and congrats. Stick around for a little bit. It's nice to have you drop by. Metal Complex is in the house. Congrats on the 90K. Yes, congrats on the 90K. Thank you, Cue Ball, for the 5 bones. Yes, congrats to Metal Complex for the 90K. But I just want to say, I told you I was coming. I told you I was coming for you, man. But yeah, congrats to you, man. Congrats to all your success. And I do appreciate, all the shouting out of the channel you gave us. When we first came on the scene, you definitely pumped our channel up and helped get us a lot of traction. So thank you for that. Damascus steel great handle DC guard. Nice heat treat. Hell yeah. Okay. 1.5K to go. I think I got to get to 100. I don't know. Where are we at right now? Let's find out. Because we got the 100K celebration coming. It's crazy, man. We're going to be getting that plaque. That'll be sitting right back there. That plaque. We got 1,500 to go. Yeah. Or sorry. Yeah. Yep. 1,500 to go. Yeah. You're right. Damn. Please tell me your car vents are back to normal. Oh, he's talking to Cue Ball. I'm like, what? Jared, what company do you think has the best and most consistent heat treat? Spyderco. Spyderco does really good. If you're gonna spend your money and you really are asking like that, then you're gonna want to go custom. Custom will be the most consistent. But production company, it's gonna be Spyderco. Spyderco has the best heat treats from my personal experience in the game. Now, if you're wanting more budget friendly, Civivi and we do a good job too. They do a really good job. Riat does a really good job, but Spyderco all the way does the best heat treats in my opinion. With some of their super steels, like some of their, and they've had a lot of time to do it too, to perfect it and make sure it's really good, but they get great heat treats on their steels, like even the ones that other companies might find very difficult to get. And now they don't pussyfoot around with it. And that's what I like about it, because some companies will say they'll take a steel and give you that steel, but they won't heat treat it to its potential because they don't want to spend the money grinding it. Because the difference between some of those super steels, between a couple HRC marks, is a lot of belts for them and a lot of work. And then they'll tell you, oh, we don't want to make it that hard because it'll be fragile, it'll be this, it'll be that. That's bullshit. They don't want to do it because it's going to be a lot more work for them. And in order for them to give it to you at the price that they want to give it to you at, and for you to be surprised that you're getting it at that price, they have to make it a little softer. But now you're losing all the benefits of that steel. So Spyderco doesn't do that though. Spyderco gives it to you at its potential, and at least, to the potential that they can give it to you for the price that they're giving it to you. Any experience sharpening M398? Thank you for the 5 bounce. What's up, Asa? No, not really. I had some, but I gave it away, or I sold it. I did something with it, but I had some, but no, not really. I'd be lying if I said, yeah. I'm guessing it's, a lot like M390, but no. Cold steel has a good heat treat. Yeah, I never had no problems with cold steel. I never had no problems with cold steel, but it's different now, so I don't know. It's not the same company. So we'll see about that. Jared, I want to buy more American made. Looking at a Buck 102 Pro. Any thoughts on these? Well, the Buck knives have Boss heat treats, so they always have good heat treats. I'll tell you what, bud. I used to have that knife. Mine was the G. Was it G10? I think it was the G10 version. But I used to have this knife. It's a great knife. Yeah, it's a solid knife. I had they have like 4 different versions of that knife. They have the large one, which is like the one you see in Scream, the movie Scream. Then they have the medium and the small. I had like all 3 of them. And if you guys stick around here in a minute, I got a buck to show you. It's gonna be badass. Just hang on tight when we get to story time. But yeah, bucks are awesome, man. Bucks will always have a place in my heart because Buck was like, it's always been like a prideful USA company, like growing up when I was a kid, Buck was a statement. If you had a Buck, that was like, it was kind of like wearing Red Wing boots, right? Like, it's prideful. You put them on your feet, and hardworking Americans built it, made it, sewed it, whatever. Same thing with the Bucks, especially the USA ones. I know there's lots of overseas ones, but the USA ones, it's very prideful. Now, like I said, they'll always have a place in my heart. In the same time, I would like to see a lot more out of them. I would like to see them working with other companies, and putting stuff together to bring new designs and designs that we want, in 2022. I think they are a little bit lost, they're a little bit behind. And yeah, it just is what it is. They need to start doing some work with other OEMs. They have all the potential in the world, but it'd be nice to see them really kick ass, Can you imagine like if Buck, like I know Buck and Strider did a knife, but like could you imagine like Buck and ZT or Buck and Benchmade or Buck and Spyderco? I don't fucking know. Buck and TRM, I don't know, something. How was your 20 CV Delica heat treated, Jared? Good. I love it. And thank you for the 2 bones, Daniel. Fantastic. Really good. And with 20 CV, when you got it like that, that's when like the edge that you put on it, it's so crazy how you can have 2 knives, 20 CV, basically the same geometry. In one of them, after sharpening, it's like just scary sharp. And then the other one, it's like, meh, it's good. It's sharp. Most people will be like, oh, this is really sharp. But the difference in the other one, it's like, wow. Tucson isn't bad for the price versus materials. No, they're not. They're actually really good for the price for the materials. And that's what I mean. You do have to consider price. Don't expect to get that high level edge retention out of their super seals, but you're not paying for it. So who cares? You're still going to get good edge retention. It's still going to take a great edge. It's still going to be super sharp. My M390 223 takes a nasty sharp edge, like incredibly sharp. Like it, even though it probably doesn't get the edge retention like maybe Spyderco's will get, it still gets about it. It still gets really, really sharp. They're still doing an okay job with it. They're just the HRC is just not really high. I'm guessing it's like 60. I think they were trying to bring it up a little bit though, because they heard people were complaining about it. And I don't think they were complaining about it because of it having anything bad, just that the test came back that it was a little bit softer than we would have wanted. But I've never had a problem with Tucson's M390. I've always gotten better than S30V edge retention out of it, personally. Jared, you and Kara should consider moving to Texas, as it's better than Florida, in my opinion, and much cheaper living. I don't know if it's cheaper. Shut up. No, we were when we were talking about, before we were talking about moving to Florida, we were considering Texas too, because she has family in Texas and I have family in Florida, and we wound up settling on Florida. So I like my bucks. I like them bucks too. I tried to buy a buck 110 last night or yesterday. My first knife ever was a Cutco 1882 bullwhip. Still have and absolutely love it. Nice. That's awesome, man. You still have your first knife. That's badass. Yeah, Patrick, I don't think you can ever go wrong with a USA made buck, especially their fixed blades. They do a damn good job with their fixed blades. Damn good job. Bucks are traditional knives, and that's fine. We need some thesis. I agree. I like I wouldn't want their traditionalness or traditional knives to go away. I just know, okay, you guys remember when they worked with G&G Hawk and they did the Buck Marksman? That was badass. That was so badass. I would love to see some more of that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying stop the traditionals. I'm not saying even take the traditional out of a lot of their designs or anything. I'm saying it'd be nice for them to do a couple of, just some badass shit, and then still do all the other stuff. They have the potential. They have the resources. They have the ability. That's my point. Buck had a chance to chase enthusiasts with Silver Knights, but they let that collab die. Well, like the Buck Marksman, that's discontinued now too. Nope, but there was a Buck and Wagner Swiss Army knives. Bucks work with a lot of companies. They really have. I'd like to see them work with the companies that have, how can I say this? I'd like to see them work with some of the companies that are involved in the community at the point or at the level of which that they appeal to the community, right? Whether it's action, design wise, grinds wise, fit and finish wise, and all the good details, the fine details. Nice Fast says, hey, can you send me like 100 subs? You have plenty. Congrats, my dude. So hyped for you. Everybody go and follow Knives Fast. He is definitely trying to grow his channel, and he's got a new knife design hitting the market. So that'll be coming soon. It is a more budget friendly knife, and it is in 14C28N. Without saying too much, you're going to want to keep up with that. So go and follow his channel so you will know every detail about that as it comes into play. That 20 CV blade is thin and slicey. I mean, geometry plays a big, it's like a huge thing with knives. I remember I guess I didn't always think that, but I remember at one time having a mindset of like that the thicker was better. It's tougher. Tucson is great. Just ordered the TS85 in my cart. Tried to find a titanium one for 6 months and gave up. I've been there, man. I've been there. I did the same thing with the the 352. Wait, no, the 158. No, not the 158. That's that little one. Which one's the one that has the Warncliffe blade with the hole and the big giant thumb studs? It has a flipper tab too. It's kind of small, big old finger choil. That one, I was trying forever to get the full titanium version. I wound up having to settle for the carbon fiber and titanium version. What's the best way to sharpen a Victorinox Pioneer with their curved blades? With a curved blade. Well, a diamond rod, you can get one of those little diamond rods that are really thin. They're like this big around and they're long and they taper down to a point. You can use one of those. You can use, there's lots of different things you can use. You can use a round stone. There's different sizes of round stones. So like an aluminum oxide round stone, because you're not going to need diamonds for that. I'm always saying the diamond rod file thing because you can get them for $7 online. Just look up diamond rod. They usually are expandable and they go into a handle. You can unscrew it and pull it out. Those work really good for those. I would recommend probably that first, but you can also use a like I said, an aluminum oxide. They have different size stones you can get for recurves and things like that. But the little diamond rod will work perfect because it's not like you have to have a fine edge on that. And the diamond rod will be probably like, oh man, probably 1,000 grit just right from the start, but that's okay. I wouldn't normally tell you to start off with 1,000 grit, but those are so thin that the diamonds on that simple of a steel, it'll sharpen it up really good and give it a good finish. So that's what I would recommend. Eventually, probably like an hours away from Orlando somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the center, somewhere we can afford. So, but no, we haven't like figured out a place or anything. We haven't like, I got family down there that's getting places and everything. So I'll be talking to them eventually and figuring out the best place. What's the best? Oh, I already said that. I carried my Deca Gen 2 today for work. Nice. It's a perfect EDC and lightweight work knife. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, the Deca is a badass knife. 99 likes and 131 people watching. Texas or Florida, whatever, as long as you live in the free parts of the states. Yeah. What part of Florida are you in? I'm in Illinois right now. I'm talking about Florida though. I still have your grandfather's knife and it can shave your arm. Nice. I have my first Deca ordered. Magna Cut, can't wait. Yeah, I'd like to see that knife, Mom. I'd love to see Grandpa's old knife. Yeah, I have no doubt he probably had a one of those little spit stones. You spit on it, for lubrication, and you sharpen on it a little aluminum oxide or a silicon carbide stone. So I'm guessing he had. Thoughts on the ProTech SBR with the Ultim scales? Love your live stream, by the way. Oh, thanks, David. ProTech does amazing work. I'll never say anything bad about ProTech. ProTech does an amazing job. The only negative thing, and I'm not saying, I just said I wouldn't say anything bad about them, so I'm not saying this is bad. But something I'd like to see is I'd like to see them thin their grinds out. The grinds are a little thick and robust for their purpose. So I would like to see them do some hollow grinds or at the very least thin out the geometry a little bit. But build quality, across the board, everything, fit, finish, action, everything, lock up, they're rock solid. Very good quality knives. You could never go wrong with a ProTech. I wish I could find a buck marksman. Yeah, I gave mine up. And sometimes there's those knives that, and this is what winds up hurting me in the future for ever selling knives, is because the ones I wind up giving away, or not giving away, sorry, trading or selling, always wind up being the one that got away. But no, awesome knife for sure. Great knife, the buck marksman. I don't know why they discontinued it. Maybe like they weren't really selling as much as they were, and like everybody who wanted one got one, but I don't know. I'd love to work with Buck as an OEM if they do it. It's tough. The thing is that they'd probably want a lot of moolah, and I don't know. I don't know how it is working with a company like them, because they do have all the potential, right? They have the facility, they have the money, they have everything to do it. But I don't know. It's hard to say how that would be with them. That's tough. I think some of the guys in the community that are planning on doing OEM or getting OEM work done should probably look into them and see how they are. Now, like I said, the problem is that they're not the most tightest tolerances, unless we're talking about fixed blades. Not the tightest tolerances. You know, they could be better, unless if they're working with another OEM and to their specs. Pretty soon MC is going to be coming for Jared. That's funny, John. That's funny. That's funny. I'm gonna start seeing him in my comments now with the squinted eyes. That's what I used to leave him. I used to leave him the comments of this, and then the last comment I left him trophies. Winner. Oh, it was a joke, dude. You are flying. Yes, sir. The opinion is coming. Well, I don't think it's a bad idea for companies to try to get them to do OEM work. I mean, I don't know if they probably wouldn't do it unless if you had a huge following, but it doesn't hurt to ask. It really doesn't. It doesn't hurt to ask, to start, I don't know. It's hard to say. I've never spoken with Buck, so. You mentioned the Tucson TS223. Just got mine finally after discovering it on your channel. Nice. Still have the factory edge and been using it like crazy. Love it. What angle and finish did you do? So I did a 17-degree angle on one of them, and I did a 15-degree on the other. Both are nasty sharp. Redunculously sharp. They take a really good edge. I have a 14C version and an M390 version. I believe I put the 15-degree on the 14C version, I think. Either way, they're both so good, man. So good. And sticky sharp. And I really like the blade shape too. It's super easy to strap and maintain, because that has a lot to do with it too. You can have great steel, heat treat and all that, but having, I don't know, like just a good grip on the knife and being able to really, like, I guess everybody's going to be different, but me, like spear points, I'm just really good at sharpening, stropping spear points, man. They just seem so straightforward to me. I prefer sharpening a spear point over even like a Warncliffe. To me, it's even easier. You don't have to lift much. It's easy to hold your angle with them as long as they have a good choil and everything. But yeah, it's so easy to strap for me and maintain the edge, and I can just keep them going for so long. Yeah, right. You're not coming back. We got 20 minutes for story time, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great story for tonight. Neevesknives, yeah. Do loads of research before moving down to Florida. Lots of people in the knife community could probably love to give you info on what area is like. I know. No, I definitely will. 100%, because I don't want to go to a bad area. I obviously need to go to a more affordable area, but I want it to be a little bit nicer. And, I don't, I want to save money. I want to be, in a nice place. So, but I don't know. I do have family down there that knows pretty well though. My aunt, she bought, properties down there that she's renting out, and then she has her own, so I could talk to her about some areas and then talk to the community too, because they'll know, with everybody, it'll definitely be a great source of information. How do people conceal carry and use their EDC? I'm newer to this and ambidextrous. So I guess if if you're concealed carrying, right? It depends on, obviously you're probably gonna have a tuck and go. So if you're carrying a tuck and go and you're right-handed, you would carry it a little bit more on the back side, right? So you just carry your knife in your pocket. If you're wanting to carry a fixed blade, now that could get a little tough. Because I guess you could scout carry it, but a lot of times you don't want to scout carry. Because if you fall, you don't want to fall on it. You don't want it to be hard to get. So you might want to carry that right on the front. Now, if your tuck and go is right here on the front, near your junk, well, then, you already have your right side open. Now, if you're carrying something like this, where you have your knife, pen, and light, this can go wherever you want it. Right? You can put it on your left side, your right side. So then you obviously want your firearm with your most dominant. It's nothing for me to take if I wanted to carry this on my left, I could take the knife out and hand it to my right hand. I don't want to do that with a pistol. So obviously that's going to be what you're going to want for the dominant. However, the knife is what you're going to use more. So consider that. It's not going to be life and death, but consider that that's what you're going to be taking out far more than the pistol. But there's lots of ways to make it work. So many different ways. And in a lot of ways, you could probably put them both right near each other, with certain tuck and goes. And then, if this is on your belt, I guess it just depends on what how you're comfortable carrying your concealed carry. There is a lot of YouTube channels getting into the knife making these days. It's really great. Give us something to look forward to. Yes, absolutely. Love Texas. As I walked into a store today and walked out with a new gun in 30 minutes. God bless Texas. I have a Buck 119 Pro in green polished micarta and S35 lifetime knife. Nothing it can't do. Nice. Yeah, no, those are tried and tested for sure. Those are lifetime knives. They can definitely. Now, it's not going to be your only lifetime knife, right? But it'll last. It can definitely last. The thing is you can sharpen them to where they don't recurve, but in many, many cases, you see an old buck that like a Buck 110 or, whatever, that's been sharpened to death. They almost all have a recurve. I think it's badass though. What is the best quality EDC with serrations? Flipper and made in USA under 150 bucks. Now this is the thing is that a lot of people would tell you go full serrations. If you're wanting serrations, don't get partial, right? Because the problem is that you don't get the potential out of serrations with only a few. The point of serrations is that it's like a saw. So, like say a rope, right? When you have a full blade of serrations, it's going to cut like a beast. Now, I'm not saying that maybe a half serrated knife might be okay for you, but a lot of people would say either go full edge or full serrations, one of the two. But I would recommend Spyderco. Spyderco does full knives in serrations. You can even get the Shaman in full serrations. You can get the Mannix. You can get a lot of knives from Spyderco full serrated. Now, there's also CRKT has VEF serrations, which are nasty. So I don't know about full VEF serrated knives, but I would go Spyderco though for sure. That's my opinion. Especially with the heat treat. Just stopping in to say what's up and drop a like. Off to bed. Gotta work in the morning. Y'all be easy. Thank you, Audible. I appreciate you stopping in. Shout out to the Bang Gang Squad. By the way, Culver sucks. And Whataburger is so much better. Just kidding, whiskey boys. Yep, the Malice and the Archie are killer. Yeah, I love the Malice, man. Love it. Such a great knife. You guys are making me hungry. David! With the 5 bones. Thanks, Jared. Getting one of the SBR prototypes from Blade HQ Purchase Lottery. Excited to see more Alta materials coming in the market. Hell yeah. Thank you for the 5 bones. Davin. Did I call you David just now? Davin. Sorry. But yeah, no, Protect, man. Protect's awesome. So awesome. And the guy from Protect, the owner, man, I've never talked to him, but he seems like such a good dude. He does. I've never spoke to him or anything like that, but I've heard he's such a good dude, and he seems like a great dude. Like somebody you'd want to support, And they got that Magna Cut now. They're doing stuff in Magna Cut. I got that knife here in Magna Cut, that auto from this guy right here from the west side. I was hoping to catch some marble eyes today, but carp is all I got. Damn carp. Jared moved to Colorado. Well, we visit Colorado, so we'll probably be visiting for sure. And we're definitely going to have to come see you. Hope that offer still stands. Knife Electric says, carry a knife, front pocket. Carry the pew pew at 5:30 on the right side. Served for me well for years. Nice. Perfect. Perfection. Now, obviously, if you're right-handed, right? If you're left-handed, then do the exact opposite. Just want to say that if Jared makes the move to Florida, he will always have a new story for us every Neeves Live at some point. He's just going to read the newspaper to us after that move. Oh shit. It's funny because I got this app in my phone, and and I only pay attention to these 3 towns, right? Three towns that I grew up in. And that's all I pay attention to. And yeah, man, fuck, man. Like I do it because, if any of my friends get killed or anything like that, I can see it. Not that I wouldn't get a phone call, but there's a lot of people I don't deal with that I still know, whatever. Just like I just found out somebody that I'm really close with. They were locked up for 9 months and just got out, and I didn't even know they were locked up. I seen them yesterday. But anyways, the point is that I keep up with it just because, and man, it's like every day, man, they're sending me lists of all this crazy shit happening. And it's like, damn it, I'm happy I'm not there no more. There may be places in Arizona too. Las Cruces in New Mexico is too congested for me. I got a mountain lion eating a deer 100 years down the hill by my house. Nice vibes. Damn. I hear Texas has the most tigers in captivity on the planet. You're using the wrong bait. Try this. That's hilarious. That works. It definitely works. Today in Florida, a man was found wrestling a flamingo. Sounds like something I'd do. Because the flamingo stole his sandwich and he wanted it back. Also his cocaine. He really wanted that back. That's hilarious. Shaman Full Serrated is available at DLT still. Nice. DLT Trading. Go and check that out if you want to get a full serrated shaman. That is definitely a solid one right there, especially if you're wanting like that type of knife where good comfortable ergos, good tough lockup, tough knife, strong knife, hard use working knife for sure. Not the sliciest, but it's a hard user for sure. CRKT Apache on eBay, full serrated knives. There you go. New old stock. Nice. 3-bedroom house sold next door for about $100K a year ago. Yeah, 100. That was the last year though. It's only about $280 now. I used to flip houses in South Florida from foreclosure auctions. There are so many new ones every month. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. But the thing is that everybody's going there right now. Like, I kind of feel dumb waiting a year, but I have to, I have to be ready. I don't want to make a jump, and not be ready. So, hopefully we'll be ready next year. If everything goes well, we should be ready next year. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, things are going up and people are moving and they're just piling over there. Everybody's going from all those areas. We know what areas, and going to those areas. We know what those areas are, and it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I just hope they vote better. Hope to never get in a knife fight. That's why I'm carrying a G19, Glock 19, and very proficient with it. Damn right. Damn right. Yeah, you definitely don't want to nobody wants to get into a knife fight. It is never pretty. It's ugly as a fuck. It really is. Like, I don't think people even realize, like, how ugly it is. Like, it's vicious, man. There's nothing good out of it, ever. And you could win, and I don't want to say die, but you could win and still die, or win and be severely impaired after. Not a homeless problem because of the shacks and trailers, but that's mixed in next to nicer places. It's sweet. I told the special university president in Ace Hardware his zipper was down. You guys remember XYZ? XYZ? Do you guys have that shit? That's because you know nothing of Cali but what you've been told, Breeze. Fuck Cali. I've got no offense to the people in Cali. No offense to you guys in Cali. But yeah. It gives this country a bad name. Bad name. Been there, chuck it. Seen it with my own eyes. Yeah. Custom EDC Knives, my best friend in California's daughter and husband just bought a house for, damn, it's a starter home and not that great of a neighborhood. Damn, son. Yeah, well, depending on where you go, I mean, like, location, right? You could be in a bad neighborhood that's near the ocean or near a lake or something, and it's going to be crazy money. I know places even like around here that aren't great, but they're near the lake. Fucking $1 million home. It's like, what? Doesn't even make sense. So location is definitely a huge thing. But, and I'm not saying when I said that just now about California, it's not just them. It's even where I'm at. So LA area, not the tourist area. I mean, yeah, there too, but not just there. Rode the blue line. Nasty shit, man. Just like here, man, there's a lot of places just like that. And Breeze knows that. Like, obviously talking about a lot of areas, right? But anyways, hey, he's back. He came back. All right, I'm back. I'll keep living in the mountains despite the cool temperatures right now. Man, I would love to live in the mountains. Thinking about that, like, I like people. I love people. So, but I also love nature. Like, I'm a huge nature person, man. I love nature. I love animals. I love being able to do what I want. I love the country. I love that shit. So yeah, I would, it'd be nice. And I'm not saying that's where I'm going, but I'm just saying it would be nice eventually to retire or be in a location where you have a little bit of land where you don't really worry about your neighbors, but you're not too far from people. Texas has more cougars. Go to any bar. The thing about the full serrated knives, they have like a 1/2 inch of a straight blade at the tip. I mean, at least you have a tip, right? Because you got to think I mean, I guess it depends, but majority of knife stuff is done with the tip. So that might not be a bad thing. I grew up in Anaheim and then moved. I know. Jared, there's literally between 150 and 300 new ones each month. What? Houses? Are we talking about houses right now, or what are we talking about? You are the best sharpener I've seen. Thanks for sharing the tips, bro. Oh, man. Thank you, Sir Simp-a-Lot. Don't simp too much, though. But thank you. I appreciate that. Button is nice with the 14C. If you go Elementum, go S35. Oh, you're talking about the little one? Yeah, if you go with the regular Elementum, yeah, the S35 VN version. But, man, the button lock version with the 14C, I love that version. I like the knife. I don't mind the only button lock action just because the knife is so damn good. And that lock is really good. Mine is so solid. I mean, I've done so much with this thing and it's rock solid because they have a liner. It's a liner button lock. It's not like a regular plunge. It actually has a liner spring. It's a little different though. Like I need to tear it apart and really look at that. I don't remember if it actually has I think it actually might have a spring on it. But anyways, point is it has like a disc hooked to a liner that plunges into the lockup. And even when it's closed, listen to this. You can hear that fucker. Let me turn this bitch up. Oh, wow. It's so quiet. That lockup is solid. I love it. Sounds like a clock. Anyways, but the knife, the design is so good. This design is just, I love this design. Spear point, hollow ground blade, neutral ergos, and it has the type of ergos I like where it like kind of teardrops into a bigger section back here. Super comfortable. Get up nice and tight to the blade. Fantastic knife, man. Love that one. Neeves, what angle would you recommend I sharpen a tomahawk at? I want to say 25 degrees, but I think that may be too steep. I think that what you'd want to do, honestly, is get one of those. If you're going to do it on the belt sharpener, then I would just literally try to figure out, because I don't know how thick, and because a lot of them are convexed, it depends on the tomahawk. But yeah, 20 degrees, I would say most likely, but that it's tough to say. Now, if you're going to do it with the belt sharpener, I would say right around 20 degrees, but it depends on the tomahawk. But what you could use is a round stone. They sell round stones like this, and you use them like this on like tomahawks and axe and stuff. But if it's a V ground tomahawk, then go 20 degrees. That's what I would do. If it's a convexed tomahawk, then it depends on how thick that convex is. But either way, I think 20 degrees is a good area. That's a super tough edge. It's slicey enough. And the thing with axes, tomahawks, things like that, I guess it depends, because a tomahawk's made for other things. Axes are made to chop usually and split wood. Now, there's a difference between a wood splitter and like a hatchet and an axe. Like there's differences there. A wood splitter is actually really thick. It's a lot thicker. And you can see, like and I'm not a professional at all, but I listened to a professional that sat there and showed the differences. And this one was like super slim and it looked super slicey. And you would have thought like, man, that thing must chop wood really good. And he was like, no, this is horrible. And then he brought the other one in with really thick geometry. And he's like, that is a log splitter. And then he sat there and split the logs with it, obviously with a good edge, and it was just ripping through the logs. So depending on your purpose and what you have, I know that wasn't the question you asked, but yeah. But with the tomahawk, I don't know what your purpose is with it, but I think 20 degrees is an all around good friendly angle. I had friends go for the millions a couple years ago. It's crazy. Okay. Where are we at? 9 o'clock, story time. Going from those areas to those areas, other areas, and no one wants to be in the other areas. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, I do. I do know what you're talking about. I absolutely do. Whoa, Dennis! Thank you for the 15 pounds. Hell yeah. Just wanted to say hi. Hope everyone is having a good evening. Recently bought the Finch model 1929, and I could not be happier. What an excellent knife. That is badass. You know what? If you really like that knife, you should definitely check out the Harvester. The Harvester, man, my favorite Finch by far. I love the Harvester. I really like the 1929, but the Harvester, in my opinion, is even better. Try it if you get a chance. Man, the Harvester, it's such a good work knife. Rural North Florida is the best. Better weather than, we're going to go. Better weather than Central and South Florida. It stays too hot too long down there. There is cooler weather longer in North Florida. Yeah, I think wherever I go would probably be more central north, but we'll see. Facts. Absolute facts. You guys are hilarious. All right, I'm gonna skip forward to the top of the chat, or I should say the bottom of the chat, because we are getting into story time. All right, so do you do private sharpening classes? Yes, I do for the Rocksteads of the Bang Gang membership. So if you sign up to the membership program, I do private sharpening like one-on-one for if you're a member. So if you're a member of the Bang Gang, you can sign up. The join button is right next to the subscribe button on the homepage of my channel. And there's 3 different tiers. All the tiers get 2 lives a week just for the members. They're the only ones who can talk in the chat. And I do sharpening with them. And then I'm also going to do other stuff too. But then the premium one, that's the one thing they get, is if they want to do one-on-one sharpening, I will. Yes, sir. All right. So, story time. All right. So, those of you that follow me on Instagram might have seen me yesterday. I did a post saying that to wish me luck, because yesterday I went to try to possibly get some old knives back that I don't have anymore that I used to own. Patrick with the 5 bones. Thank you, man. Good night, all. Newest daughter is getting baptized in the morning. Much love and respect to you all. Thank you, Patrick. God bless, and that's awesome, man. Good for her, and good for you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the 5 bones. Get some rest. So, some of these knives. Well, let me back up. So I've told you guys a story. I know if you guys are new to here, you guys might not have heard the story about my knives getting stolen and things like that, and me finding the person and all the whole story about that. This is separate. So I'll tell that story again sometime. There was actually a couple different times my knives got stolen, and one of the times, I wound up knowing the person and slapping the shit out of them and blah, blah, blah. But, I, at one point was, recouping a knife collection. I had a pretty significant knife collection with some pretty decent pieces, but I was getting very poor. Things were getting rough, and I didn't have a choice but to sell. So I had to start selling off my collection, and between a couple different people, a couple different places, whatever. And Knives I absolutely did not want to sell. Now the real sentimental ones I had were already gone. But some of these were still sentimental, just not to the extreme that those were. And even though they were sentimental, since the ones that were like so sentimental to me were gone, it almost was like, anyways, almost like those ones didn't matter. But they still did. And when I was in such a tight spot, sometimes sentimental can go out the window, right? If you don't have no place to put them, right? You can't eat your fucking knives, right? So I had no choice. Anyways, point is I wound up selling off a lot of my whole collection. And it was heartbreaking. Didn't want to do it. And one person that I did wind up selling a few knives to, I was hoping he was going to keep them because he tends to collect stuff. And lucky enough, he did keep a couple. Now, a couple of the best ones, the ones I really wish I would have gotten, like the really expensive, like custom fixed blades, they're gone. Doesn't matter. But I did wind up retrieving a couple knives. Like I said, not the best ones or anything like that, but I did get to retrieve a couple. And they're nothing special, but they're special to me. So let's check them out. So last night I went over to his house and I bought some back. First one we're going to check out is a buck. Speaking of buck, right? So this was a gift technically from a friend of the family back in the day. And I loved it. It's so well built and I carried it. I used it. It even still has a broken tip from when I was prying something. Still in pretty good condition. The Buck 191 USA made, wood handles, and it's got the gut hook. And yes, I've used that gut hook, but it does have a chipped tip. I can fix it though. Has a nice deep hollow ground blade, nice geometry, nice and thin behind the edge. I mean, this is a beautiful grind. Ergos are just hand melting. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Oh, that is so comfortable. A little slippery because it's wood, polished wood, but still damn good. And it's not all rusted, which I'm so thankful for because some of the knives, man, were rusted to shit. And like, oh, it was so. There was a few knives that were there that I used to own that I didn't even want back. Keep them. Let them rust. Richard, thank you for the 5 bones. Bang. Thank you, brother. So this is one of them. The Buck 191 badass gut hook blade. The gut hook is still nice and sharp too, man. But I am going to resharpen it. It has some microchips up here, chip tip. I had sharpened it, a long time ago, but it looks like I wasn't the best at sharpening back then. It still looks okay. It's not too bad. Now another knife. Now this one, I have no idea what it is. No idea at all. Now, I remember at one time, I never really knew what it was, but my old man, I got it technically from my old man. He just came home with it one day, and I have no idea what the brand is, nothing. There is one little stamp. Let's check it out. It's a mirror blade. I'm guessing it's just some simple steel because it's not rusted. It's some sort of stainless. It could be just stainless. I don't know. I have no idea. It feels, I haven't put it on a stone or anything. So I'm hoping it's at least like 440C or something, but here it is. It's got a mirror blade, a hollow ground, clip point blade. It's got this wooden handle. The fit and finish is pretty good. Remember, these were not taken care of very good by old boy. Here's the stamp it has. It's PP right here. It says PP. Let me see if I can't. Oh wait, is it P? Is it PP or PR? PP, I think. It almost looks like a teardrop on one of the things. Let me zoom in here so you can really see it. PP? But it almost looks like the 1P, it's a teardrop underneath it. Almost like PD and then a teardrop. It's probably PP. Now, if we move up a little bit, it's got this thing, whatever that is. If I flip it over for you. Anyways, doesn't matter what it is. It really doesn't, but it'd be cool to know. But I'm going to try to sharpen it and see if the steel feels good and whatever. But pretty cool, though. Now, I accidentally left one of the knives in my cousin's truck when he dropped me off. And now that is a cheap like frost cutlery knife. But the thing is that I used to have it hanging on my wall because I called it the fish. The handle looks like a fish and it's a big old nasty machete basically, but it's a chopper. It looks badass. Like if it was like a USA made knife, it would be so badass. But I bought it back just because it looks so dope. And I've actually chopped wood with it. I've actually chopped a bunch of shit with it. And hey, it held up. But I did get also, now this one was not treated very well. It does have some rust. I got it soaked in oil right now. I'm going to try to recover it. This is very old, what I'm about to show you guys. So the sheath is ostrich, I think. I'm guessing this is ostrich. I know it's ostrich. And the knife is an old Bowie with antler handles. And it's got some rust spots, but this is over 100 years old. I mean, the handle's still well fit. This could be tightened up a little bit. It is a brass bolster, full tang, and it's double edged. It's sharpened up here on the top, sharpened down here. And this was this was the original Bowie knife that the original fighting Bowie knife. What was his name? I can't even think of it now. What an idiot. Jim Bowie. This is the original Jim Bowie knife that he fought at, what was it, the OK Corral or whatever? I don't know. I'm just talking shit. But anyways, I'm obviously talking shit. But no, this is probably something similar to what the original Bowie was. I don't know. They were a fighting knife, right? It seems like something I could fight with. It's double-edged. Convexed. It's a convex grind and edge. The edge is not the best, but heck, I could still cut something with this, but I do need to clean it up pretty significant. Look at this other side. It's got a lot of rust, but I'll try to bring it back as much as possible. I'll definitely heal these wounds as much as I possibly can. It's old, guys. I mean, it's old, but I can feel it's hardened steel. I mean, they did a good job, and those wouldn't have been like, this one's great to get back, but these aren't. I mean, this one is too, actually, because my dad came home with that, but they're not like the cream of the crop, but it's sentimental, right? So it's fun to get back. Now, there was another place I tried to go to, but they weren't there. I couldn't get the oil. I couldn't see any of those or get to those, but that's another journey for another day. I'm going to try to go get some of those back. Hopefully they exist. Is it possibly high carbon steel, the rusted Bowie knife? Possibly. It's hard. Who knows, Think about it. What steel were they using 100 years ago? That's the question. Because this has got to be over 100 years old. I'm guessing. So whatever steel they were using back then, it has a weird look to it. Not like Damascus, but I don't know. It has a weird look to it on one side. But it could just be like the corrosion. What's up, Chris? Getting the end of the story time. Old saw blades or hoof files? Mississippi River Island is the original knife fight location for Bowie. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's where it was. You're right. I forgot. The swedge is sharp too. Yeah. Yep. Yep. This is sharp up here for sure. Let's see if we can. It's got a burr on it, but let's see if we can cut a piece of paper with it. Let's just try it out. Probably not, but we're gonna try it anyways. Don't judge the 100-year-old knife that hasn't cut anything in 60 years. Okay. Oh. Yeah. It's sharp though. I mean, it's dull for sharp, but it's sharpened. How about that? I'll definitely bring it back. And I'll put a quality edge on this motherfucker. Now, the question is, do you leave it original or do you sharpen it? Right? Because if this was like a World War II thing, you would say, do not sharpen it. Leave it alone, right? But if it's this, you clean the steel, right? Obviously clean it up, but do you put a good quality edge on it? That's the question. What do you guys think? I'm curious. Google image search for PP knife. Thank you, Mahomes. I have not done that. I guess I could right now, but see how that goes. Let's see right now. PP knife. Definitely not that. PP Knife Company. No, I'm not getting anything. But just, quick look. And it might not even be a company that still stands. Who knows? I'll look into it a little bit more. It's hard to say. I mean, I would imagine that a lot of knives were made like this was obviously well made back then. I can tell by the fit and finish of the handle or, the bone and everything. This was quality made back then. But for back then. So I imagine, it just, however the easiest way to heat treat steel was back then, they probably did it, like that. And I don't doubt it's not the best quality heat treat, but I'll bet you the steel they were sharpening was pretty simple. So maybe it wasn't too hard for them to heat treat. Interesting to see, but there are some early 19th century examples that combine the two what the hell? Aspirations, I know. The two high aspirations. I don't know what that means. I think they're indigenous Indian people that made them. What are you talking about? You talking about this? Maybe. I don't know. Jared, he wants you to get gay porn in your search history. Don't look up PP. That's funny. Don't touch it until you find out more about it. And for the rust, there are chemicals that will oxidize their rust, but be careful of the blade tarnishing. Yeah, no, I'll definitely get rid of the rust as well as I can without damaging it. But yeah, man, it sucks, man. I wish I was able to keep it in the collection the whole time. It'd definitely be. It was in good condition before, but that's what happens. The sheath is really cool though. And you can see how old this sucker is, man. It's so old. The stitching is still good though. That's how you can date it, is definitely by the stitching and shit. Here, let me give you guys a close-up of the stitching. It's obviously really old stitching. Let me back it up a little bit. Man, I love this camera. I don't do that. I just said I love you. Really cool though, man. I'm glad I got these back. Now, the old fish knife, as soon as I get it back again, I'll show you guys that. That's something special though, but it's funny. And it is badass. I wish I had a knife just like it, just made, you know, to better quality. I think it's like surgical stainless or something. Or hand forged surgical stainless. How's a life present day, Jared? Very good. Very good. I'm very, very blessed. Your FBI agent is going to wonder what you want with PP knives. Upcoming circumstances. Yes, exactly. High hopes. Okay. Well, I'd have to go back and read what it said now. Oh, I forgot what it even said now. Son of a bitch. I apologize. Jared, have you tried any Bradfords? I think I've sharpened them. So yes and no. I mean, I haven't. I think I did. I test one. I don't remember if I tested one, but I've had them in. I'm not sure if I've had many of them on the channel, but I've had them in. Good knives. Is that ostrich? Yes, it is. It is ostrich. Yes, it is. And the inside is wood. So ostrich wrapped wood. So you can see. Not necessarily, because even back in the day, you know, I'm sure to some extent we were raising ostrich for things. You know, you got to think about it. Ostriches have been here for hundreds of years being harvested and used. Also, you know, we've been on a barter system for hundreds of years. So we were able, the question is if it was USA made, right? What type of quality would it have been 100 years ago to have a sheath made of ostrich with antler handle was probably pretty typical, but just the point, like, you know, it actually could possibly be something. I don't know. I know the one knife that he did sell or give away or whatever he did with it, that was well over $1,000 knife. It was a custom. The handle was made out of antler, but it had the pommel had a bear like carved into it, and it was really good quality. The steel, the everything. It was badass. Like that was a high-end custom fixed blade. There was actually 2 of them, but they're gone. Like just knowing what I know about knives now, looking back, I would say it was probably somewhere between like a $700-800 to $1,200 knife. Just knowing what I know now. And the other one was probably like $400 or $500. I forget the actual maker's name. I used to know it and used to like, you know it. And that's how I also know that, because even back then when I could remember it and I knew it was worth a lot. But now I can't remember, but I still know, you know, that it was really good. Jared, did you make it to the Texas show? No, but I will be in Atlanta. What angle did you do the Bradfords? They're pretty thick. Probably whatever the owner wanted. I'm not positive. I don't remember. By choice, I would say if you're wanting it for an EDC blade and you're wanting it nice and slicey, 15 degrees, 15 to 17. If you're wanting a little bit of toughness with sliciness, go 17. If you're wanting all toughness, less sliciness, but still very, very fucking sharp, go 20. 20 degrees is a great angle too. Most factory edges are like 22 to 25 degrees. Most factory. Not all factory, like Spyderco does like 15 degrees with a 22 degree micro bevel or whatever. But most factory edges you're going to see are around 22 degrees, 22.5 degrees per side. Yes, it does. It does smell like chicken. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, it doesn't even smell like ostrich. It smells like fucking chicken. Go figure. Jared, I have a 755 MPR in my collection, an early model. What would you recommend for a sharpening angle wise? 775 MPR? Well, a Benchmade Silver. That's tough. 160 thousandths blade stock thickness. It's not a full flat grind. 20 degrees per side. That's what I'd recommend for that. 20 degrees per side. And I'm saying that because the choil doesn't give you a good plunge grind. So if I told you 17 or 15, you would definitely hit the plunge grind. So let me show you guys what I'm looking at right now. Give me 2 seconds. So I'm saying it because of what I see. So what I see, let me see if you guys can see what I see. Let me get this off. So what I see is this plunge grind right here. It's really close to the edge. So doing a 20-degree angle, you're probably going to have a good looking edge without sacrificing hitting the plunge and just making it look like crap. Now, that'll be a very sharp edge. I'm guessing it's pretty thick behind the edge, being a Benchmade. I'm guessing it's probably between 20 and 27 thousandths behind the edge thickness. That's just a guess right off the top of my head. So, considering that that's true, 20-degree angle is probably going to look pretty good on it still. And it'll be pretty slicey, yet still tough, look good. 20 degrees, I would say, do that. I think you would be very comfortable with that too. And that won't take you as long either. It'll be probably easier for you to apply on that knife. Tastes like chicken too. Okay, so I couldn't find an exact picture of the blade, but Mac Easton has an example of one in his collection. I don't know if he still does. It's in this video here. Which one? I couldn't find an exact picture of the blade, but Matt Easton? Matt Easton? I'm just gonna look at Matt Easton knives. I'm just gonna look that up. Let's go up images. You guys will see what I see. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, sorry. Let me get that off the screen. Sorry, guys. Ah, fuck. All right. All right. All right. Matt Easton. Oh, look who that is. Yeah, guess what I almost bought last night? He wouldn't let me buy it, but he had an old Benchmade. Check this out, in good condition. An old Benchmade, an old collector's one, a Harley Davidson Benchmade, a real Benchmade Harley Davidson edition in D2 steel. The action was still great. Lockup was still solid. Everything was great on it. I almost got him to sell it to me. I did give him a pretty decent offer, and it's still on the table. I told him anytime I'll take it. So I think I'm going to get him to sell it to me. I hope I haven't passed it up if this was exactly the same thing you were seeing. Let me go back up. That's a good looking kukri. He's got a lot of shit on here. Was he like a knife? I don't know who this guy is. Was he a collector? Bit of a knife fighter or something? I don't know. I don't know who Matt Easton is. These are good looking blades. This one looks like it's double edged. That looks pretty good. Is this one double-edged? Looks like it. I cannot see the chat right now, guys, so give me a second. That's the way the guard is on mine, just like this. Interesting. I'll have to check him out a little bit more, see if I can't find something else, maybe if he has an Instagram or something. Later, Daniel. I have a fixed blade that needs a leather stacked handle. It's a Japanese Tonto survival knife with a saw on the other side. Yeah, you can probably send it in for somebody to do that, or what you can do is you can get some leather and do it yourself, watch a video on it. Matt Easton, whatever that is, he runs a sword channel. See, I just don't know much about him. Oh my God, Shane Gables, you're at the wrong party. Go support one of our fellow brothers and a great representative of our community. Subscribe to Shane Gables Pocket Knife Reviews. There is the link. Definitely go support his channel. Neves, I can find you new Harley Davidson Benchmades. Yeah, this was a really old one though. So I don't know how old, but it was old. So I thought, it was cool. You could see that it was really old. It needed a new clip, but it was just the point. I was buying knives from him. That was one of the better ones that was there that I didn't own. I didn't sell it to him. And I was like, fuck it, man. It's an old. He had another one that was fucked up. Like it was super old, like super, super old. Probably one of the most original ones, but it was an auto. And the spring barely worked on it, but that's replaceable. But somebody ground the blade down and buffed the handle. It had like aluminum scales and it was like all buffed and it was so bad. So bad. But I would have bought it, but not for much money. Tom, what's up, bud? Oh, to a lot of people, including Tom, I haven't had a chance. There's a lot of people that I got a ton of messages right now. I haven't had a chance to get to all my messages. Give me a couple days, guys. I got some catching up to do. I had a ton of sharpening, ton of shit going on. So just give me a couple days. I will answer everybody who's messaged me for sharpening or for whatever reason. Just give me a couple days, guys. I got to play some catch up. I will contact you. I promise. Breeze, you will learn not to start a fire. I've detailed everything talked about Matt Easton. What do you mean on a channel or what do you mean? I think he's a Hema guy and a collector. I saw, damn it, some of his videos, but forgot the name of the channel. I will find out and let you know. Thank you. Thank you. I am patient for you. You're the best. Thank you, Tom. I do appreciate that, man. I feel really bad, man, when I go to my Instagram, and I know I'm not talking about you right now, Tom, but on my Instagram, I'll have 32 unread messages, and it just kills me to not read them. And I always try to. Normally at night, I go through them all, and then in the morning. And I could have 60 at night. By the morning time, I'll have 60 more. And I'm not trying to convince anybody not to contact me or leave me a message. Absolutely. If you need to contact me or you want to chat about something or ask a question or whatever, absolutely message me. I'm just saying right now, I'm trying to play catch up. So just give me a couple days. Be patient with me. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Jesse James also has a knife. Well, I would hope so with that name, Jesse. Thank you. Thank you. Getting that plaque soon. Getting that plaque soon. That 100K plaque. I can't wait, man. That is such a huge thing. I'm gonna do such a badass giveaway. Um, might as well talk about it, right? Might as well talk about the giveaway. So you guys remember this knife? I've been hiding it on you guys because, oh, quick story time. You guys remember the big badass giveaway that Mr. Amazing donated to the channel? The Rockstud, the Cheryl Goroff, and the Hinder, right? Well, we did the giveaway, and the person who won the Rockstud did not follow the directions, and I was going to still give it to him, but he was an honest man and said, no, don't give it to me. He's like, I didn't, play the game or whatever, and the other guys did, and I was just going to draw a new name. Well, a fucking scammer went into the comments and started trying to scam every one of the commenters. I had to delete the video. I tried, reporting him. I tried everything, and YouTube was not keeping up. And a few of the people almost got scammed, like literally. Like I had people almost paying this guy money because he was having them. I will never message you like that. If you win something, I will never ask you to pay for the shipping. And he was like saying like you won the Rockstud and stuff and trying to get them to pay him like $160 for shipping. So I took it down. I didn't have a choice. So I couldn't redraw a name. I couldn't. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to hang on to this one and I'll just give it away later. Right. And I've been waiting. I finally got the scammer reported. He was off of the channel and then poof, he comes back last week. So he came back last week and I reported him again. It is what it is, right? There's nothing I can do. Shit happens. But we got the beautiful Rockstud button lock. We still have it, and we're still giving it to one of you guys. You guys hear? Listen to that. Ultra smooth. It is not a false shutty button lock, but it is a button lock. Listen to this lockup. Listen to that. When it pops open, turn this on. Sounds so good. ZDP 189 at around 67 HRC. Beautiful mirror finish. Titanium scales made in Japan. It does have a spot for a clip, but I don't have the clip. Oh, it looks like an integral, but it's not. But this is one of the most solid button locks you will ever feel. Like I said, not false shutty. But you can still one-hand it. Or you can do the like that. You can flick it still. But it is a Rockstud, so it's meant to be rolled. But you can flick them. I can even Spidey flick it, probably. Yeah. If you're a tough Spidey flicker. But $1,500 knife, perfectly centered. The most centered knife you'll ever see in your life right there. And this is going to go to one of you guys. So this will be one of the giveaways for the 100K. Obviously, we got we'll do some other stuff too. So that will be amazing. I will have a bunch of other stuff too. So that won't be the only thing. And we'll have multiple winners. Maybe not list it as a giveaway, or I know, but the last time when the scammer came in, he didn't even do it on a giveaway. He did it on a video where I was ranting. And he tried to tell people that they won the knife I was saying I was going to return. It's you're going to have shitheads, right? And whatever. We're going to do it anyways, right? But we're going to know that I will not contact you in the comments. I will make that very clear in the video that if somebody contacts you with my logo saying you won, it's a scam. You are going to have to contact me if you win. I will not contact you. You are going to contact me. If you win, you will see that you won, clear as day, when I do the the giveaway. I'll pull it. I'll record me pulling the name. It's not like I do it without you guys watching. You guys watch me draw the name. So you'll see that you won, and then you contact me. I won't contact you. And if something happens and then there's a redraw for whatever reason, like the person doesn't contact me, I will film it. Because that does happen. It's happened many times, actually, where somebody wins and they never contact me. So if Breeze wins, we should get a fund prepared to make sure he never uses it. Make sure that warranty's in place. Yeah, it probably is. It might be a human. I don't know. Because what does it take for a human to just make multiple channels, right? Obviously, the one I reported, they made a new one. Then every time I report it, they just make a new one. It is what it is. But yeah, it could be a bot. It's kind of weird, though, that it doesn't seem like a bot. I mean, they say the same message to everybody, but when you start communicating back to them, it seems like a person. So maybe it's a bot at first. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Just know that if you ever win something, I will never charge you to give it to you. Oh no, Todd. If I did win, which I won't, because I won't participate. It can't be trusted with that. That's kind of true. That's kind of true. You know what's funny though is I did have Avery, Natalie's son, won a giveaway. And I was thinking, like, because it popped up Neve for the person who won, and I was like, I promise. I promise this, was all legit. That's my nephew, and yeah, it looked totally sketchy because the winner was a Neve and it said the handle was a Neve. Oh, it made me look so bad, but he got it though. He got it. And he's just a kid, but he wound up winning a titanium S35 VN Kubi knife. Everybody in the chat has won. I need $160. Right. Exactly. You won this giveaway. Contact me with it's like Cash App or some shit. Then you do, and you're like, yes, cool. Here's my address. All right, man. Send me $160 for shipping. We've got to insure this a lot. The insurance and shipping is going to be $160. Congratulations. But hey, man, I could see why somebody might pay it because they're saying, man, the fucking knife is worth $1,500, $150. Take my money. So, but I would never do that though. If whatever the insurance would be, I will fund that. Not even that I'll insure it. I probably won't. Oh, it's like phone spam. All automated robocalls. If you answer, a person from a faraway land will respond. Yes, for sure. Bang! I just sent the money, Craig. Addicted to knives. What's up, bud? I commented back. We had a bot in the comments. Yeah. Well, a lot of people contacted me because at first I would have fell for it too because it was my logo, right? Why wouldn't it be me? It looks like me, but it doesn't say Neevesknives next to it. It shows my thumbnail thing and then something else next to it. I forget, like something like Cash App or something. So it looks like it could possibly be me, like through my Cash App account or something like that. That's like what it looks like. So I could see why people were falling for it. Of course they were. It looked like me. And then in lives, they were going to lives, and this is how I know it's a human doing it, though, because I forgot to say this part. They were also going into lives pretending to be me and just talking to people, like in Metal Complex's live, and it's somebody in the community. Somebody who doesn't like me in the community is, hey, it's gonna happen. You know how they say it, I mean, fuck, at 100K, I'm gonna have things like that. Pretty good. Pretty good. Nicola, how are you doing to stop bot scammers? They need to catch them and throw them in the prison. Period. Yeah, but they won't. They won't catch them. All they'll do is they will stop them from being able to. What'll happen is they will stop them from being able to make a comment on my channel, right? They won't realize they can't comment on my channel. And I can even see that a comment was left, but it'll just be gone. Like after I've reported them and they realize, okay, yes, this is a scammer, blah, blah, blah. They will stop them from being able to comment on my channel. However, they'll be able to comment on other people's channels for so long until finally enough people report them. Then they'll just shut them down and they won't allow them to comment on anything anymore. But they can just set up a new account and shit. And I think after a while, maybe they'll stop that device from being able to make comments. But I don't know how it works from YouTube. Yes, the non-existent student loans that I never had. I always get the car insurance ones or for my car or and I don't even have a car right now, so it's hilarious when they do it to me. Me and Kara had one the other day for insurance, for like health insurance, and we were fucking with them. It was hilarious. Like after a while, I was like picking up the phone as if I was the insurance company. Oh man, it's hilarious. Hello, Neves. How are you? What's up, Brandon? How is that pet of yours? What was his name? How is mother? What was maiden name again? Right, exactly. Oh, the extended warranty on your car. Yes, the extended warranty on my car. That's one I always get. And I think it's hilarious because I don't have a fucking car. So and then but the health insurance one, it was because we were actually looking into health insurance. So like all of a sudden, either one, they hacked into their system where they could get all the information, or they sell it, one of the two. But now then there's like 15 calls in like an hour, all from trying to sell insurance, all scammers. Carrie even had one like they were like pussy, like like talking shit. After they get exposed, they start talking shit. Then the last one, we started messing with them back, and we were answering the phone as if we were the insurance company. Like that they called an insurance company. It was hilarious. Oh crap, I just heard pew pew shots. Well, keep your head down. They sell it. I know. I was just saying, some of them do get hacked. That's a thing. Just like kind of like the what company was it? I can't think of it. The bell ring cameras or whatever. There was people hacking those because I guess they were like super easy to hack, and they were able to look at people's cameras. So like if you had the inside cameras in your house, they could talk through the microphone and shit to your kids and things like that. That was happening. Everything can get hacked. So it's just how good of a protection do they have against that? And I guess now those companies have really good protection, but at first they didn't. And there's lots of knives doing good. Getting tired, so may log. No, I'm about to log off too. So we're about to all get out of here. I do appreciate all of you guys joining me tonight. Thank you to all the patron members for all the support. Thank you to all the Bang Squad members. Next week is another live Sunday. Thank you to everybody who donated. I'm really tired, guys. I'm sorry. But thank you to everybody who donated tonight. Thank you to everybody who hangs out in the chat with me and, bullshits. Thank you to everybody who uses my sharpening service, and to the people that have stuff in right now. Forgive me. I know I'm a little late on getting some stuff back right now. I am getting to them tomorrow. I'm hoping to get a lot of stuff sent out on Monday for you guys. But some of the people are backed up, so I'm trying to get to everybody. But thank you to everybody who supports. We're about to hit 100K. We're going to have a fucking plaque right back there. It's going to be amazing. Thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys. Peace. Hey, I'm saying hi to you right now. What's up, knives? Lots of knives. I have said hi to you. So quit lying. I love you guys. Peace. 100K, baby.